Right. Um, this is another testimonial. The goal is to continuously make my testimonials, and until I can't. By the end of, by the time I can't do any testimonial, it'll be clear that throughout my targeting, I never subscribed to any of these nasty things, and I understood that this thing is a way that they manipulate people. As much things they do to people, um, and as much as they try to create this psyop. And it's funny, yesterday, they like to say things thinking I'm not going to repeat. They have used these tactics, and some of them is applied by children. A lot of the people involved in there are not like fully matured individuals, and they don't need to. The technology is super sophisticated. It seems like that these people don't need to be the smartest, the most mature, and the most logical. Matter of fact, I don't think they want maturity, but I'm saying like even like they don't have to be genius. They just have to be able to. It seems like this technology can make sure that they say the right things and orchestrate the right thing. It seems like that obviously. The people who are involved here are not the creme de la creme. It's funny because I'm being salted of being nothing, and when you see who's talking to you, you'll be like surprised. That's these nobodies, these just random people there telling you you're nothing, but they're just the bottom feeders, and what they do to people are just disgusting. 2 seconds ago, before making this video, one thing they were doing is like there was this kid, and they were trying to make me look at this girl in this sexual way, like really, like I was like, for a second I stopped. I was like, they tried to make me look at her legs in a way that was like appealing. And maybe I should just go ahead and start again to make the screenshot and put it in my YouTube videos and show what they're doing, because that's what they allow with my old channel, because I wanted to continuously show what they do. And it's funny how they try to gaslight you, right? Discredit you on the obvious thing, but they sound like so fraudulent anyways. Like you don't respect them in the first place. So them it's like, oh, it's not real. It's like, yeah, okay. Like I'm supposed to get mad because you say it's not real. They're so like they're so childlike individuals that it's just, even that alone is agitating. It's like you're just like a nothing. You can't even tell me you're nobody. You can't. There's nothing this person can say to me, and I'll be like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You tell me who I am. That's why I think these people don't like to be seen, because they know that I don't value them much. Like when I see them, they will not. Because as I was mentioning before, they need a sense of credibility. You need to look at them and look at them as, these people are like respectable, self-respectable individuals that really are like, for you to accept what they say or even subscribe. You have to have that. But I don't have that toward them. Like I see them as the low life the government uses. This trash weak, low life that find empowerment in this foulness because they're so weak. This trash that could break in 2 seconds, but to use like, oh, you're nothing, while doing this disturbing manipulation to people. It's okay. I think it's also kind of biblical in that sense that it's like almost like the weakest gonna do the foulest thing, because they're weak and find empowerment, and that's it's a sign of weakness, not of any strength or fierceness. It's cowardness. It's this, the level of cowardness these people have is just unbelievable. Some of them try to, especially when it comes to, I notice there's two different like psyops here. There's the guys, right? These people want to be like this mystical, like strong, like, assessing analytical guys that just, out of, like studying you and being super analytical, when in reality they're even worse than the other psyop, which is like this like fierce, strong woman or female-like individuals who are just like they're a bunch of cowards, low life contracted by the government, and I see them as that. I see them for truly what they are. Like, I understand you have this assignment of doing these things to people. It's foul. The people who contract you, these entities who contract you, who are in charge of this, And these people are just the bottom feeders. I fully understand that. I don't see them as like, oh gosh, if you weren't there, this thing will stop. They're just nobodies. And so those entities are filled with pedophiles. And now they are here doing these nasty things and have normalized pedophilia as a tormenting tactic, forcing people to think this way, thinking that doesn't make them pedophiles. Right? But I see them truly for the pedos that they are. It's one thing that you not only you do this pedophilia type of torture, you torture children, and also the entities that construct these lowlifes filled with pedophiles. So I truly see them for what they are. No, I don't go with the psyops or whatever they might be even involved in outside of what they do. Once you involve in this program, you do these things, you're no longer a regular person. I don't care if you're a family, you're taking care of your family. You're involving yourself in a program that rewire brains in the most disturbing ways. And the entities that empower you to do these things. The reason why you're doing this to me, these entities are filled with pedophiles. And you think, they used to make themselves like say things like, oh, we're evil. Right? And that's because once they were saying, there's so many, like, there was this piece about the BuzzFeed article that came out showing that there's a pattern of child abuse and pedophilia in these agencies that contract these people, right? They kept finding pedophilia things like child porn on their computers. Some of the CIA agents were doing things to 2-year-old and 6-year-old, and at one point, one of the Pentagon security guy, I forgot his name, Daniel Payne, he was when they were checking the computers of the workers at the Pentagon in this security environment, they found a bunch of child porn on the government devices, a lot of it. He was surprised. It was unbelievable, right? And so the woman is like, this sounds so super evil, right? They didn't even know the other stuff they do. And they're like, oh, we're evil. Try to be sarcastic about it. But yes, those entities are quite evil and quite pedophilia centric. And your job is trash. And you try to force people to think in these pedophilia ways. In my mind, they try to create these battles and, they falsify reality. Well, in reality, work for pedophiles. They do these kind of things. Evil in the sense that they torture children. Evil in the sense they force people to think in these pedophilia ways. They are evil. And then one guy said this thing. It's like, people should kill these pedophiles. If you know any evil people in your neighborhood, throw them to the hogs. And that's the kind of shit they are. They are these pedophiles. They are these evil people who can torture children and even infants. It's not, and they try to sound fierce. Oh, we are evil. Yes, evil enough to torture a 3-week-old baby. And the pedophilia things, oh my gosh, that's just the signature of what these lowlifes are. Cowards too. The cowardness of these people are just unbelievable. You see who's talking. Try to be a badass. I would be envious of living the life of this person. Sad. A weak low-life pedophile that can be torturing a child like this. And their job day in, day out is to try to make a man or woman think about kids in a sexual way. And they try to find ways to validate them with this nonsensical, illogical trash. When the reality is I'm sorry, buddy, you work for pedophiles. I'm sorry, buddy, the pedophiles are the people that empower you to be so evil. I'm sorry, buddy, you torture babies. I'm sorry, buddy, you are the pedophile. I'm sorry, buddy, you're going to be reimbursed. And you're a loser and weak trash that I will never envy. I'd rather be dying in these evil ways than living the way you do. You're a sad piece of shit. And I see these people there try to think and walk. They try to normalize and try to be cool about it. Try to be comical about it. It's oh gosh. You are trash. You are pedophiles. And you are evil. Evil enough to torture children. And coward enough to torture children. All night they were doing these things. Where they were conditioning my brain in these pedophilia ways. In their evil ways. Stimulating me toward children. doing these nasty things to our children. Like making me think about kids in all these different ways. I mean, I don't even know where to start. I wake up, they'll play with my libido and make me think of babies and kids and try to make me subscribe to all these nasty things. You know, the storylines I already talked about, how they play with memories and create these imaginations, all of that. So when you see them, I see them truly for what these people are. Low-life pedophiles. True low-life pedophiles. You know, they fun because in numbers they feel comfort, right? We say, oh, we're evil. Yeah, oh, okay, we torture children. We do the pedophile type of torture, yeah. Oh yeah, you are pedophile. These agencies are not the people with a bunch of pedos. No, it's our world. You know, like try to agitate you, but they know I stand on what I'm saying. That's why they don't like to be seen. Can you imagine right now? At this point, I'm showing these pictures. Like, yeah, this is her world. Oh, this guy next door. That's yeah. He's look how bottom feeder this low life is. And it's not even like I don't want to diminish people because, but you know, you're like, oh my gosh, I don't even feel nothing when you pass by me. But I know, but via the V2K, they're like, nah, you're gonna hurt. It's like, trash, I'm gonna hurt because this entity is filled with pedophiles. Gonna do this thing to me. You're just the bottom feeder. Stop trying to use a different tonality. I truly see you for the low life that you are. Look at your coworkers. There's a 13-year-old, one of your coworker. A freaking child. This kid's playing around. They're your coworkers. You see, that's what I see you as. And so you have to be strong. Target individuals, do not think this is anything but what it is. It is obviously a government entity. And these government entities are definitely at a high level. And this entity is definitely in the intelligence community. And it definitely has the most sophisticated technology. And what entities do these things? Obviously, DARPA is one of the entity involved in this program. Obviously, the Department of Defense is the type of entity that will have the type of resource to contract all this bunch of low-life bottom feeders next to me. That would empower these losers. And those same entities are the same entities that this article called out for having problem with pedophilia. And is it a quinky dink that these people use pedophilia to torment people? No. It would be heaven for somebody who's a pedophile to be working in this low life, the way this low life works. And they like to use these childlike individuals to try to sound as soft as possible, like as so like innocent. It won't like I wish I could record the way, and it's such an obvious psyop. It's like they think because they sound so innocently, it's like, oh my gosh, oh, this is a group of innocent people who just want to protect the community so much. It's like trash, low lives. They know what I see them as. Nasty things that will torture children too. Sorry, nasty people that will torture children. Bottom feeders. They're doomed and they're not even adults yet. These bottom feeders. So the reason why I make videos, as I said, is to continuously say and speak about what I need to say. Death comes to all of us. I know my death is not gonna be easy. And I don't think there's no easy death, but I know my death is gonna be painful. And that's because I've humiliated these people. I've humiliated them to the point where there is no way they can escape into a false reality. As much as they make me think in different ways and make me think of how they can manipulate my memories and create these storylines with their BS stories and the way they make me imagine things, it's obvious. It doesn't take a genius to see the validation I have. Matter of fact, they have to really, 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 really dumb themselves down. Really. Truly. You know how humiliating to see the obviousness of what they're in and try to dumb themselves down? They usually the more humiliating things there are, the more they use the childlike psyops. That's a trend there. When things sound super stupid and humiliating, they use these childlike people. Another tactic they use, when they think this makes sense, they just get quiet and they feel like the quietness makes, oh my gosh, we prove too much. So let's be quiet. Oh. It's so gimmicky. It's so fraudulent that when you take yourself out for a second and see how they're doing these things, you're like, Jesus, these people are clowns. But because my brain is so ravaged, it can start thinking of them like, oh my gosh, it makes so much sense. It's like, it's so delusional. It's so falsified. And then they try to make it up. Like I said, with me, they use these very credible professionals. Listen, I have no doubt that these people are very good at their occupations. But when they try to gaslight you to accept this obvious technology that can manipulate your thoughts in these disgusting ways, you see them dumbing themselves down and then try to use this professionalism in whatever other things they do to try to sell you into this false reality they created. And you're like, do you think I do not understand what you're saying? Do you think I don't understand what you're doing? When you want to see you as a credible person, they do this thing. For example, I'm employed currently, and they would like talk about these different things, show how they can have logic ways and rationality and talk about this, and you're like, yes. And then they will try to say, no, that was you. You see, it makes sense. And just really try to make faces when this retarded, I'm sorry, it's the best word I can use in this case, this nonsensicalness of thoughts and imagination, they like start to shake it. It's like, oh yeah, really? Really? Because they're like, oh no. And you're like, it's so gimmicky. Target individuals, see them for what they're trying to do. They come up with these manipulations and try to make you accept it based on their facial feature expressions. Oh my God. Like things like that. And I'm on camera because I'm like on the conferences, video conferences. And they're like you see on the camera just like, oh, this thought just coming. Oh my gosh, it makes so much sense. Oh. And you're like, you're such a clown. You're such a clown. Do you think I subscribe to these things? You see how stupid these things sound? Do you know how easy I can show you how dumb you have to make yourself be? When 2 seconds ago you tell me about this great analytical perception of this data. These people, do you see how low you have to fall from this earlier, this very perspective, logical moment you had? You see that in real time, and the reason why they do that is because they were trying to sell this false reality, to sell this false memories, to sell this illogical thoughts, to sell this obvious manipulations, as if it's you, as if it makes sense. You just gotta be understanding of that, it's strong about it. That's why I make videos, because in my brain I know it's gonna go however it goes. They're gonna make news campaign, they're gonna look at you like, oh, also, come on. Really? I made almost 1,000 videos because you did this. I'm like, oh my gosh. Wow, subscribe. Oh my gosh, he looked at me this way. Trash. Get you bottom feeder ass. Go back to your room and play the guy that you want to be. Working for pedophiles and forcing people to think like that. I'd rather get beat to death than do what you do. There's an honor in my death. Look at the low lifeness, the currentness of this low life. I know, try, enjoy, have fun, do your thing. You know it's going to come back to you. I died with honor and dignity. I didn't subscribe to your nasty pedophilia things you do, your nonsensical things. This whole thing, I mentioned, the past few things is just the stupidity. And you hear this bottom feeders try to use this different tonality. No, they are. It's like, yeah, pedos. Yeah, really? With your pedophilia type of torture? Fucking lowlifes. And then you see them in person, you're like, you really think I'm going to be this retarded? Because you, who I could never respect if I saw you in person, could be like, oh no, we're analyzing. You just been manipulating my imaginations in these disturbing ways to make me think of this and then stimulate me in this way. And then what doing the pedophilia type of torture that you're renowned to be doing to most people who was targeted. Oh yeah, you know what? Me, you're not doing the pedophilia type of torture. It's fate. It's fate that this article comes out and pointing out the pedophilia type of problem that you guys have in these agencies. It's fake that you don't even want to be seen because the humiliation will be so bad. Cowards. They tell themselves whatever they need to because they use this stupidity of logic to break you down. It's like, we won. It's like, no, stupid. My brain is just this retarded now. But trust me, I see you for a pedophile. Not because you do this, not because you're actually a pedophile, but because you try to force people to think in these pedophile ways and use these illogical things. You know, I remember when I was having that date with this person, when she was trying to, I could see in her face, when she was talking to me and they wanted to start working on this BS story about the girlfriend I used to date, or the person I used to date, her sister. She said something and I could see her face, she's just kind of, like, she's getting prepped to, like, it's going to be retarded, but I was like, yeah, I understand. I was looking at her, it's like, she just, and you can see she felt like, oh, this is going to be some retarded ways of thinking. They're about to manipulate this into retardation. And then you hear somebody who sounds like a trash, like a childlike retard. So they are. And that's supposed to be the tone of voice that's supposed to make you accept these things. No, it's you. It's fate. It's fate. Yes. Yes. No. No. Do you listen to the? It's so fate. And you look at this trash. You are delusional trash. But that's your job. Keep living life as a retard. Watch how this fate comes back to you. It's fate that this article pointed out reality while you guys are here dolled up, but there's a shower doing my better show, and then try to make me create this disturbing, vivid imaginations. I will always bring that up because they want you to be like, oh my gosh, you see how it makes so much sense. You're like, you are retarded. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to use the same degrading word, but it's just the best way to describe them. When they go into these ways of trying to make you accept these retardations, you truly are retarded at this point. You've made yourself mentally retarded to try to make me accept these things that you obviously have been manipulating me since earlier this week. And this is why I make these videos. And embarrass them, even talking about, you know what, I've been talking about it since 2020. Now my brain is even more faded. Like it's gonna go further and further away. This BS scripted things that this CIA agents have been architecting, these agencies filled with pedophiles, is not gonna make me subscribe to this BS. I'm sorry, they made me say it to me. I'm not gonna subscribe to these nasty things. And yes, this is called forced speech. These people can make you say things that you don't mean to say. Nothing new. Mary Fair, her testimonial says the same thing. Others have said this. It's called forced speech. And it's supposed to be agitating. It's supposed to be frustrating. This is what they do. It's fair that these things that they try to implant in your brain and force you to think about in these disturbing ways, or try to make you subscribe to this retardation, while forcing you and conditioning you in these pedophilia ways, while stimulating you toward children, while manipulating your dreams, while manipulating your libidos, while manipulating your thoughts, poisoning your thoughts. These entities that contract these bottom feeders are actual pedophiles. This is fair. That is the fairest thing ever, because it's more humiliating for them. Can you imagine somebody just walking, just trying to look up after all the manipulations, and you listen to like the amount of child porn these people see in this Pentagon and Langley, whatever. It's unbelievable. And he's like, you see how we manipulate your brain? You're like, get your trash ass away, you fucking retard. So to all my target individuals, see them for what they are. Losers and bottom feeders, whose job is supposed to make you subscribe and create this false reality and memories and thoughts and reactions and stimulations and the pedophilia-centric things they can create in your mind, the way you react and all the possible, to try to make you accept to these things. And you should hear them, bro. It's so gimmicky. And then they use this tonality, try to be all serene. Not true. Oh. From the extremely like loud to the like, oh my gosh, it's not true. We obviously It's so obviously you. And you hear the obviousness. Almost all target individuals are forced to see child porn in their mind. And then like they try to counter it, but remember this sister, and then try to make me imagine the whole thing, the vivid imaginations. To all my target individuals, stay strong. Reality is gonna come to them one way or another. They love to talk about my torture because they think that's gonna make them escape from reality. I'd rather get raped every day in my life than having to live this life and have to make myself sound certain ways. Not true. They're gonna do this to you. Oh, it's fate. It is fate. You could be living the life these people live. You could be living this humiliating life. You can embarrass yourself where you don't even want to be seen because it's so humiliating. I remember going to the laundromat. There was this person. I stopped filming her. She turned red in front of me. Especially when I start talking. Oh my gosh, she's like, yeah. You see how humiliating it is? To all my target individuals, stay strong. Because they're going to try to break you down.